Guys who start testosterone replacement, the term they use is recovery. My recovery is so much better. After they work out, they don't feel sore. I hear it consistently.
It started as TRT.
You eat less calories than you burn, you're gonna lose weight.
Hi, I'm Doran Stember. I'm a board-certified urologist. I'm the founder of Fountain. Fountain is a telemedicine company that specializes in treating hormone deficiency.
Is what you're taking TRT, or how's it different? It started as TRT, so as you guys know, it's testosterone replacement therapy. Just a little bit higher than usual, nothing too crazy. But then after that, you get a little bit comfortable, you see some results, you want to try some other shit. So then now it's like different cycles, like Masteron.
I don't really understand that at all. I mean, when guys start testosterone therapy, it's because their natural T levels decline, and giving them testosterone makes people usually feel great. There's no reason to cycle on and off testosterone. Guys feel great on regular, medically optimized testosterone therapy. So no need for anything else.
How would you react if one of your sons came home, he's like, Mom, I'm on the cycle?
So we have rules. This is actually a really great question. We will pay for your life while you're in college, but there's 3 rules. No steroids, no street bikes, and no tattoos.
Oh.
When you can provide for yourself, you could do whatever the you want.
That's an interesting set of rules, those 3 rules. Like, why would you come up with those 3 rules? I don't really get that. She's too young to have a kid on testosterone in all. I can't imagine how old her kid must be. Definitely doesn't need steroids. I didn't really get this one at all. I don't get these rules. If those are the only 3 rules, that leaves a lot of room for other things that you might think a mom would think about before street bikes or steroids.
People that don't believe being fat is a choice are not the most intelligent, in my opinion, because basic thermodynamics says if you eat less calories than you burn, you're gonna lose weight. You can eat less calories. It's just, is it difficult? Yeah, it's very difficult to do because your metabolism is screwed up and you have these intense cravings. But at the end of the day, if you choose to ignore science and information, then you're just choosing to be ignorant and you're choosing to have the health effects that you have, in my opinion.
Obviously, the vast majority of people know that having a better diet and being more active is going to be helpful for losing unwanted weight. But it's not totally just a choice. I mean, I think that oversimplifies it. You look at 18, 19-year-old guys who are testosterone levels are surging. They're often sitting on the couch eating potato chips, play video games, and they're very fit in many cases. How do they do that? Obviously, you have to care enough about yourself, but you need to have your testosterone levels optimized to get anywhere near what younger guys look like when you're older.
How come a salad is $45, but you can get a whole Big Mac meal for $3?
Well, that's another issue. That has nothing to do with you choosing to be fat or not. That's an economic issue.
Nobody chooses to be fat. Life happens, and
how does life just happen? You just accidentally went to the buffet?
He has a point. Sometimes healthy food, especially at restaurants, is expensive. Unhealthy food is not nearly as expensive. That's true, but that is not really relevant. I mean, you can find inexpensive food. You can make your own salad. Calorie rush and the stimulation of food that is designed to just hit you in a way that makes you feel good instantly and is kind of addictive. But when guys have good, healthy, optimized T levels, the opposite thing happens. They feel kind of mildly nauseated when they eat those foods.
Do fat people hate themselves?
Absolutely. No, I don't hate myself. No, I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't like carrying all this extra weight.
Okay, well, hate's a very strong word, bro. Well, bottom line, it's fucking discontentment with yourself.
It's not hating themselves. It just doesn't feel like them. Being yourself, the way you think of yourself. There's a continuum between depressed mood and actual clinical depression. Sometimes it's hard to make the distinction. A lot of patients would have depressed mood or a flat feeling. Often they feel better from testosterone therapy. And these guys sometimes have been on psych meds, antidepressants, for years. And we've had patients referred to us by psychiatrists who have tried everything they could. Hormone optimization plays a role in mood, absolutely 100%.
Who smells the worst? Fit people or fat people?
They may sweat more. It takes more energy to imagine putting a fat suit on and walking around. It's harder to move around. It's just you're carrying extra weight, and so it's an effort. It's like walking uphill all the time. They may smell worse because of body odor from sweat. That's the only reason. If a fat person comes out of the shower and a thin person comes out of the shower, they're going to smell the same.
My tendons cannot take the heavy lifting that I could do even into my 30s or 40s. It's hard on my joints. I'm 70 years old.
You're 70?
Yeah.
Whether natty or not natty, if you're 70 years old, you're killing the game.
Not natty. It's interesting that he's talking about his tendons. Guys who start testosterone replacement, they don't come and say, I'm starting testosterone because my tendons hurt or they feel sluggish. The term they use is recovery. My recovery is so much better. What they mean is after they work out, they don't feel sore or at least they don't feel sore for very long. It's not something that's talked about a lot. It's not presented as one of the benefits, but I hear it consistently. I actually experienced it myself when I started treatment a few years ago. I got to the point where when I would do push-ups, and I almost felt like a borderline injury, and for me personally, it kind of went away. I mean, that's just an N of one, but I've heard it over and over from guys. So I still don't like lead with it. I don't tell people to expect this, but I do hear that all the time.
I'm Miguel, I'm 55 years old, and I just graduated from college last year.
You're kind of giving me like that dude from Spider-Man, the Green Goblin.
He does look like that guy. He doesn't strike me as someone who has testosterone deficiency. There are guys who have T levels that are pretty low, and they feel good or great, and they look like this guy, and they don't really have testosterone deficiency. They may have relatively low T levels, but they don't have the condition. There are guys who have T levels that you just look on a piece of paper on a lab report, and they look like normal levels, but you talk to the guy and you can just sense he's telling you his history and how he's changed and how he's slowed down. And a lot of times that guy does have testosterone deficiency. It's not just about strict cutoffs in the labs. You have to look at the whole picture, how the guy feels, what his goals are. And then when they're on treatment, that's also the primary thing we care about, how he feels. Because if starting treatment T levels go up, but he doesn't feel better, who's that helping?
How much do you bench? About 400. Bench? Pull the muscle. Yeah, bench.
I don't know what to say here. The guy's wearing a wetsuit. He says he benches 400 pounds. I've seen people press much more than you'd expect him to press. So it is possible. I think it's unlikely. I think he does take TRT. His age, which I can kind of tell from his hairline and his face, highly likely he's on testosterone.
Natty.
I do TRT and maybe once a year kind of enhance it with a few other things.
The smallest.
I don't know what the point of the something extra is. But it was really interesting. You don't have to be someone who works out, actually, but they're sort of motivated to work a little bit more in all ways, including moving their bodies. I like to tell patients that they should go to Target. They should buy even just 10-pound kettlebells, which they have at Target. Just do 10 or 20 curls a day, keep it in your bedroom, even if they do nothing else. There are studies that show that even when you don't change your activity regimen at all, their metabolism is improved, even with no changes in routine. But of course, you get a lot more out of it if you do anything beyond your baseline.
I'm not natty.
Why'd you start?
Just to kind of look better, and I've put my time in at the gym, and it never really got me past a certain threshold.
Yeah, that's not the right reason to take it. I mean, that just may be how he described it. When he says look better, he may mean he had trouble, he was gaining weight, he was slowing down. He also may have had other things he didn't want to say to all these women, like low libido, problems with erections. Those are very typical. And a lot of guys think those things are just an inevitable part of aging, and they don't actually realize it's related to their testosterone decline over time. So he may not even realize some of the reasons that he first sought out the treatment. That you need to start from a place where you're having a problem already. It's not just about gym improvements. I think there's some discomfort in the medical community with doing something to make people feel good as opposed to healing them. The community of people and patients are ahead of the medical community in large part on this, because it's obvious to them. They're not used to traditional medical thinking and medical training. They just think, I felt bad. Now, not only do I not feel bad, I feel good, or maybe I feel great. And so that makes sense to an ordinary person. And it's kind of I see it as sort of a strange blind spot in medicine. I want to do this because in a way it is talking to patients or potential patients. Hopefully I can reach some people who are experiencing some symptoms. They don't really know what to do, or where to go, and will hear me say something and they recognize something in themselves and they didn't realize they had a problem that may be due to a hormone problem.